Hi there. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. Today's practice will be a nice foundational introduction to yoga. It'll be perfect for beginners, and there'll also be something there for people who have been practicing for a little while. I'll definitely give you some different options for however you're feeling today. So some days we like to take it nice and easy, and then other days we might want to kick it up a notch. So really the most important thing is to just listen to your body and honor where your body is feeling today, and really just be okay with whatever your body is asking for. And the trick to be able to listen to your body is to start to quiet down the mind so that when the body gives us these signals, this information, we can hear it. So it'll come in the form of different sensations, maybe even pain, or maybe even just the feeling that something isn't right for us today, and then choose to listen to it. So we're gonna go ahead and begin in a nice seated, comfortable position on the floor. So you can sit cross-legged, or maybe come to sit on your heels with your knees bent. I like to sit on a blanket. So if you're home, you can grab a blanket maybe, or even a pillow off the couch, and just go ahead and find a comfortable spot. Let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable for you, closing your eyes, and gently tucking your chin in towards your chest. So just a gentle pull in to keep the back of the neck nice and long. And we'll slowly begin to soften, starting with the face. Softening the forehead, so smoothing it out, softening the cheeks and the jaw. Maybe you open the mouth and close it a couple times. Trying to find space in between the upper and lower teeth. Soften the muscles around the eyes, feeling your shoulders draw down your back. Good, so the arms are nice and relaxed, they're heavy. Your knees are gently pressing open towards the floor if you're sitting cross-legged. And you're sitting up really nice and tall. So the crown of your head, the top of your head is lengthening up to the sky. Make sure that it's not your chin lifting up. Your chin is tucked in, just the top of the head lifts. And once you feel your body in this nice, comfortable, relaxed state, begin to bring your attention to your breath. So starting to breathe in and out through the nose, finding a nice, slow, controlled inhale, taking it in, breathing in. And when you're ready to exhale, let the breath out. Good, continue just like that, breathing in and breathing out. One more time, in and out. And this is the most important part of our practice today, and I'll remind you multiple times to come back to your breath. Keep your focus on your breath. It helps to keep the mind focused. So without that focus on the breath, you might notice your mind drifting. It might be coming back to your to-do lists, or it might be thinking about what you're doing later. Just simply let that drift all over to the side and bring it back to the breath once again, breathing in and breathing out. Continue just like that. It might take a little bit to get used to it. It might be tricky at first, but keep at it. Full breath in and out. Now let's take 3 breaths here together. Breathing in through the nose, nice, long, slow, and deep. And then when you're ready to exhale, we'll sigh it out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and exhale, breathe it out. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, full breath. Exhale, let it go. Good. Bring it back to the nose, in and out. And you might already feel a little bit of tension starting to release. You can keep your eyes closed, or you can open them. Gently draw your chin down towards your chest and start to circle the head in one direction. Don't rush it. Take it nice and slow. Feel each part of the neck stretching. Release any tension that you're storing in this area. Keep your shoulders from drawing up. Keep pulling them back. Let them be relaxed and soft. Good. Nice and gentle here. Be really kind to your body. And the next time that your chin comes to chest, bring the head in the opposite direction. Nice and gentle. Keep going. Good. And just kind of feel that tension just melting away with each circle. Maybe the shoulders draw down the back a tiny bit more. And last one, finish out this last circle. And then slowly bring your head back through center. And working to release a little more tension through the shoulders, begin to take big circles up and back. Good. So for many of us, this is an area where we hold a lot of tension. A lot of times we don't even realize it. We can be pulling our shoulders up to our ears, just squeezing everything in, carrying the world on our shoulders. So release that out. Let's do one more backwards and then take it forward. Big circles up and forward. Just be mindful of your neck. So be sure that you're not scrunching through the neck. Good. Open it up. This is really nice to do at the end of a long day, especially if you sat in front of a computer all day. You probably feel a lot through the upper back and shoulders. And last one, take it up and forward. Good, and release. We're gonna transition now onto hands and knees. If you have your blanket with you and you want a little cushion underneath your knees, you can put the blanket underneath your knees. Otherwise, set anything that you're sitting on over to the side. So once you're here in this tabletop position, tops of the feet are nice and flat on the mat. Hands are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. We're gonna come into a couple rounds of cat-cow, so working to warm up that spine. We'll inhale, dropping the belly, lifting your head, lifting your tailbone. Full breath in. And exhale, round. Drop your head, tuck your tailbone, really pull up in between the shoulder blades, rounding the spine. Inhale, belly drops, head lifts. And exhale, round. Good, and again, inhale, belly drops, head lifts. And exhale, round. Get into every part of the spine. Good, and then release back to a nice neutral flat back here. Maybe scoot that left hand in a tiny bit towards the center and start to extend your right arm forward. Be mindful that your right shoulder doesn't lift any higher than your left shoulder. Squeeze your belly button to spine, really tighten your core, and then start to lift your left leg behind you. Same thing with that leg. Make sure that the left hip doesn't lift higher than the right hip. And then really feel for lengthening through those two limbs so that right hand and left leg are pulling away from each other. Reach. Continue breathing. Notice if you lost that connection with your breath. Gently bring it back. Full breath in. And a full breath out. Lower everything down. Good. Let's gently tuck those toes and lift the hips up to downward facing dog. So those heels will lengthen down towards the mat and they might not reach. Your head is relaxed. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Pressing the backs of your legs towards the back of the room. Pressing chest back to thighs. You can put a nice bend in those knees if the backs of your legs feel tight. Maybe take a little bit of movement here that might feel good. Maybe just rocking it outside to side or bending one knee and the other. And noticing anything that starts to come up in your body. So your shoulders will start to talk to you. The backs of your legs will give you some information. Your job is to just notice and then just set it to the side. So trying to not attach to anything that comes up. And always returning back to that breath. Nice, free and deep breath. Good, we'll inhale here. And exhale, gently draw forward. Bring those knees back down to the mat. Tucking those toes so that they're flat once again. Left arm will extend forward. Again, being mindful that the left shoulder doesn't lift higher than the right. Squeeze belly in and start to extend that right leg behind. Good, finding your balance here. Really press down through the right hand. Feel for pulling your left hand and your right foot away from one another, creating that length. Good. Keep on breathing. Full breath in. And exhale, go ahead, gently bring everything down. We're finding our downward facing dog once again. Tucking toes, breath in. Exhale, send it back, downward facing. I like to think of downward facing dog as the reset button. So you kind of just come back here to clear things out. Return to your breath if you lost that connection. It's kind of like home base. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. And gently draw the right knee down to the mat. Right hand stays down. You can spin that right foot off of the mat for a little more stability as you spin the left leg, the left foot flat. Send the left arm all the way up to the sky. Opening up the whole front of the body towards the front of the room. Really reach to that left hand. If it looks okay, if it feels okay, you can look up to your left thumb or keep your gaze down to your right thumb. It really is just personal, however it feels through the neck. And then finding your breath, really reach. If you'd like, you can take that left hand overhead. So left bicep is right over your left ear. And then once again, feel for pulling your left hand and your left foot in opposite directions. If you wanted to, maybe you start to lift that left leg. Press out through the foot. So press that heel forward, keep on reaching. And you could keep that foot down too, it's completely your choice. And then let's send that left arm all the way back up. And then maybe you take that left foot behind and maybe the left hand finds that foot and open up even more. Feel for your chest pulling forward. Good. One more full breath in. And when you're ready to exhale, just release everything down. Left hand comes back down, left knee comes back down, come back to that tabletop position. Tucking toes once again, lifting hips, downward facing dog, back to your reset button. And just know that at any time you can bring your knees down and maybe just come into child's pose by sinking your hips back onto your heels. So everything that I say is just a suggestion. I am not your teacher, your body is your teacher. So whatever your body is asking for you to do, then please listen to it. If it feels good to follow my cues, then by all means follow them. Otherwise, adjust them and modify for how you feel. And then when you're ready, let's get the opposite side here. So we'll bring that left knee down. Left hand will stay down. Left foot can spin if you need a little more stability. I like to take mine off the mat. Send that right leg long, and then send the right arm up to the sky. Really reach. Feel for your chest pulling forward. You can look up to that right thumb if that feels good, or keep your gaze down. And now take that right arm overhead, reach. Reach through that right hand, reach to the right foot, find that stretch all along the right side of the body, that expansion, still pulling your chest forward. And then if you'd like, you can lift that right leg. Reach, press through the heel. Good, and then if you'd like, you can take that bind here. Right hand reaches back for the foot. Press the foot into the hand, opening up through the chest just a tiny bit more. Good, we'll slowly release here. Bring that right arm all the way back up. Right hand comes down, right knee comes down back to that tabletop position. Full breath in. Exhale, tuck those toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good, relax the head and the neck. Maybe shake your head, yeah, shake your head, no. Both directions, just let it go. And then once again, everything is completely optional. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and rise your right toes all the way up to the sky. Finding some length here, reaching through that foot like you're putting a footprint on the wall. And then if you'd like, you can bend the knee and begin to open up your hip, maybe circling out your ankle or your knee. Getting a little fluidity in here, a little bit of movement. And that right leg can lengthen out nice and long. And then nice and gentle, draw that right foot right in between the hands. Bring the back knee down. And let's let those arms rise up for a nice kneeling lunge here. So it's completely up to you how far you'd like to lunge into that right knee. Just make sure that the ankle stays with it. So you need that support beneath the ankle. beneath the knee. So the ankle should be right with you. Finding your breath here. Hold it right here. Keep pressing into that right foot, squeezing your belly in. Start to take those elbows out to the side, nice and slow. As those elbows open, your shoulders begin to roll back and your chest begins to pull forward. Feel for that expansion across the chest and through the ribs, and slowly feel as though you're bringing those elbows behind your back. When you feel as though you can't lengthen back anymore, release the hands down, hands interlace, and then maybe you start to gaze up a little bit. Feeling for pulling out of your low back and lifting that chest, and then pulling it back a tiny bit. Be easy with the neck, so just be mindful if you feel like you're straining. Full breath in. And we'll exhale, release the hands down to the mat and start to shift the hips back and begin to straighten your right knee for half splits, coming up onto the heel of your right foot and lengthening your upper body right over that right leg. Good, finding that breath once again. Nice hamstring stretch here. Good, one more full breath in. Let's come back into that kneeling lunge one more time. Bringing your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and just find your way back to your downward facing dog once again. Coming back, full breath in. And exhale, release. Same thing on the left side. If you'd like, you can rise the left toes to start. Really lengthen out through the left leg like you're putting a footprint on the wall. Press that foot back. You can bend the knee and start to open up the hip if that feels nice. Maybe little circles come in. Good, left leg can lengthen out nice and long, and gently draw it forward, stepping in between those hands, and drop that back knee down. Find where you want to lunge into that left knee. Just make sure the ankle stays with it. Rise your arms. Good, so it really also depends on how that feels in your right hip flexor. If it's too much, just bring it up. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, it matters how it feels. And if it doesn't feel good, then why are you doing it? So try to find that place, a nice sensation where it feels good and where you can hold it. There's no straining, there's no struggling. Good, and those elbows will start to come out to the side, gently pulling open. And those elbows are gently pulling behind the back as the chest opens, shoulders roll back. And when you feel as though you can't pull them back anymore, release those hands. Hands will interlace, shoulders rolling back, squeezing together. Then you can send your gaze up as you lengthen and lift. So find that length first, up towards the sky, and then maybe take it back just a tiny bit, pressing into your left foot. And breathe. So sometimes we focus so much on holding the posture that we end up holding our breath, and that's not doing us any good. So really let that breath be really free and move. One more inhale. And exhale, release those hands down. Hips shift back, half splits on the left side, coming up onto the heel of that left foot. Working to straighten that left knee. If there's a little bit of a bend in that left knee, that's okay. Keeping the spine nice and long, and find your breath once again. Good, inhaling. And when you're ready to exhale, scoot it forward, back to that lunge. Hands come down, tucking back toes. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Press those hips back. Good, let's take one resting breath in and out. We're going to come forward to lay on our belly, so we'll pull forward to a high plank. It's completely up to you here if you'd like to bring your knees down or keep them up. Either way, whichever you choose, make sure that you lower all the way down with control. So really use your core to squeeze in, use those arms, use those shoulders. Really wrap your elbows in, take a deep breath in. And now go ahead and lower yourself all the way down to your belly. We're gonna untuck those toes so the tops of the feet are flat. Hands stay right underneath our shoulders for a little baby cobra. Squeeze your elbows into ribs. Inhale, pull chest forward, pull shoulders back. You can keep your gaze down so that your neck stays long, so you're not straining through the neck. Try to relax the glutes, so try to not squeeze, and breathe. So we're really low here, so if we took those hands off of the mat, we would still be in that same position. So try not to press too far into those hands. Full breath in. And exhale, hands come down, lower that chin. Take a deep breath in. And exhale it out. Coming up onto our forearms here. So this time, instead of hands being under shoulders, our elbows will be underneath the shoulders. Forearms are down, spread your fingers nice and wide, and your legs still are not moving past the width of your hips. Press down into your forearms, pull your chest forward, pull your shoulders back. Again, gaze can be down so that your neck stays long. You don't want to create any more tension than might already be there. Breathe. So just notice if you feel too much pressure in your low back. If you do, just come down a little bit. You want to feel like you're pulling out of your low back and then maybe lifting up. So it's more about length than it is about back bend. Breathe in. And exhale, lower it down. Chin can touch. We'll take one full breath in. Exhale, release. Now you could come into either one of those postures here if you'd like, or we're going to come into another variation called seal pose. So our feet will open up to opposite edges of the mat. Same thing with our hands, opening up to opposite edges. Start to really press down into your hands to the point where your elbows will start to straighten. You'll pull your shoulders back as your chest pulls forward. Your legs stay really active here. So notice if your elbows or shoulders are doing this. And if they are, just gently bring them back down. Let your chest pull forward. You might even start to feel a nice stretch through the belly. Gaze is forward. Stay nice and focused on your breath and whatever is happening in your body. Good. We'll take a deep breath in. And exhale. Slowly begin to lower yourself all the way down. Move with control. Bring those legs back in line with the hips, hands back underneath the shoulders, and lift yourself up to hands and knees. And we'll come to child's pose. If you'd like, your knees can open out wide, or you can keep them closer together. Big toes might touch. And then sink your hips back as you lengthen your arms forward. Forehead connects down to the mat. Take a few nice breaths here, and feeling your spine reset after those back bends. A little bit of rounding in the spine. And child's pose is a really great place to kind of come inside of yourself. So please try to not let your mind wander, because it's also a really good place for your mind to start to travel. So just keep it right here with you on the mat. Just focus on your experience. Focus on any space that you're creating in the body. Notice if there's any shifts in your mood. We'll take another deep breath in and go ahead and just pull back to your hands and your knees. Bring those knees back underneath your hips. And we're just going to lift those hips to downward facing dog one more time. So tucking those toes, lifting hips, pressing back. Good. Feel for that nice release here. Begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. And your feet should be about hips width distance, maybe a slightly bit farther. You can bend your knees once again if you need some space in the back of your legs, or if you feel like you're having a hard time bending over. Let your head be really relaxed, and then take opposite into opposite elbow and come into ragdoll. You really want your lower legs and your lower body to be really strong and active. Press down through your feet, really anchor down, and then let your upper body be the opposite, really heavy, and let it sway side to side if that might feel good. Trying to find a nice release through the spine, a little decompression in the low back. Good. This one always feels really nice if you have a little bit of low back pain. Good, press down through those feet one more time. Release your hands, and you can start to walk your hands back to that downward facing dog once again. Good, full breath in. And a big breath out. Let's draw those knees down to the mat. And crossing your ankles, go ahead and just sit behind your ankles. And then send those legs straight out in front of you. So you can extend your legs right out in front, maybe flexing those feet so the toes point towards the face and you're pressing out through the heel. You'll feel the backs of your legs really turn on. Inhale, rise your arms all the way up. Create a lot of length in the spine from the hips to the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, go ahead and exhale and fold forward over those legs. So maybe you touch your toes, maybe the tops of the ankles or the shins, or maybe those hands are just beside the legs on the mat. Either way, feel for the shoulders pulling back and the chest lengthens long. So we're leading with the heart, and then everything else follows. Finding your breath here. You want a lot of length in your spine, so think for nose to toes rather than nose to knees. And so it's likely that they probably won't touch because I don't think they will for most people, but that's what you want to imagine in your mind. That's what you want to feel in your body, that you're lengthening so far forward that your nose will touch your toes. Continue with your beautiful breath. We're going to inhale, rise those arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands together at the heart. Go ahead and lower those hands beside you. And then just scoot forward to come to lie down on your back, nice and flat. You can bend your knees and draw your knees into your chest. Hands will interlace around the front of the shins and just rock it out side to side. However it feels good. Maybe you circle out the knees. Good. And then when you're ready, keep those knees bent, but just bring the feet flat to the mat. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left thigh as that right knee presses out to the side. You can stay right here, or if you'd like, draw those knees in towards your chest and pull those legs in. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the neck relaxed. Return back to your breath once again, sending your attention to your right hip. Full breath in. Exhale, release the left foot down. Uncross that right leg and then just pull that right knee into the chest and let the left leg extend long onto the mat. We're going to reach down for the instep of that right foot and take the knee to the outside of the body for half of a happy baby. Your right ankle is over that right knee. Use your hand to press down on the foot so that you draw the knee even farther to the outside of the body. Nice and gentle here. It can be a uncomfortable, big stretch. So just come into the degree that it feels good for you. Make sure that left hip stays rolling down. It'll kind of want to lift and tilt to the right. So just keep it center. Full breath in. And a full breath out. You can gently release that right leg. Lengthen it out nice and long onto the mat. Take your arms overhead, full body stretch. Lengthen feet in one direction, lengthen arms in the opposite direction. Good. Feel for creating some space. Good stretch. Good, and release those arms down, bending the knees, feet come flat once again. Left ankle crosses over right thigh this time. Left knee gently presses out to the side. And you can draw those legs in if you'd like. Hands interlacing behind the right thigh this time. Relaxing shoulders, finding your breath. Nice stretch here for our hips. And we'll take a full breath in. Exhale, release that right foot down first. Uncross the left leg. Pull that left knee in, and the right leg will stretch out nice and long. When you're ready, reach down for the instep of that left foot and take it to the other half of your happy baby. So trying to stack ankle over knee, Use your left hand to press down on the left foot. Keep that right hip pressing down towards the mat. Shoulders are relaxed. And then really use your breath here. And then if you start to notice that you're straining or struggling, just release it until it feels good. And it's always okay to skip too. You can skip a posture. There's no yoga police that will come after you, I promise. And we'll take a full breath in. And exhale, release that left leg. Let's take it back into that full body stretch one more time. Arms overhead. Reach just as much through those arms as you are reaching through those legs. And maybe you take it a little bit side to side. And then release your arms back down by your side. And we'll pull the right knee into your chest. Give it a little squeeze. Take a full breath in. Exhale, drop that right knee to the left. Your right arm will extend out from the right shoulder. Send your gaze out over your right arm and try to keep your right shoulder as close to the mat as you can so that you have that opposing motion. So right shoulder in one direction, lower body in the opposite direction. Nice spinal twist. Good, we'll come back through center, squeeze that right knee in one more time. When you're ready to exhale, stretch that left leg nice and long. I'm sorry, the right leg. Left leg will pull in. Give it a little squeeze. Take a full breath in. When you're ready to exhale, left knee to the right this time. Left arm extends. Maybe you gaze over that left arm, trying to keep the left shoulder as close to the mat as you can get it. And that left knee works in the opposite direction. Nice stretch. It's always nice when you can get a few back cracks in here too. Spinal twists are my favorite. And we'll inhale, bring that left knee back through center, squeeze it in one last time. And exhale, lengthen it out. So finishing out with one last posture before Shavasana, I always like to take an inversion. You can take any other movement that you might feel like your body needs right now. Otherwise, we're just gonna send the legs straight up from the hips. We'll let the arms relax by the side and let the blood just start to come back in towards those organs. This is a nice restorative posture. You could do the same thing against a wall. Just make sure that you get your hips and the backs of your legs as close to the wall as possible so that you make a nice L shape with the body. This is really nice to do anytime that you're traveling or after the end of a really long day. Anytime you need a little bit of rejuvenation or a little renewal. An inversion is always nice. And even downward facing dog is a gentle inversion. We're going to take 3 more full breaths in and out. Full breath in and a full breath out. Last one, make it count. Inhale and exhale. And then if you want a little challenge here for your abs, slowly start to lower those legs nice and slow all the way down. Control it with your core, so feel for that belly button pulling through the spine to the mat. Good. And then lower those legs all the way down and find your way into Shavasana. The legs can open to opposite corners of the mat. Arms are by your side, palms are facing up. And gently tuck your shoulder blades beneath you so they feel flat. This is our final resting pose. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. I'd recommend at least 3 to 5 minutes, if not more. Let everything go. Let the body completely relax. The muscles are soft. Let the mind shut off. Let the breath go. Coming into stillness, taking rest. So remember, stay here as long as you'd like. You deserve it. Let your body absorb all of that hard work that you just did. You just moved around a lot of energy. So it's really important to rest. Give yourself the opportunity to reflect on your experience, how the practice felt for you, anything that came up, be aware of it. But just remember not to attach too much significance to it. And take a full breath in. And then gently go ahead and just roll to your right side. Take a moment here to connect with your breath one last time. See how the body feels, really just being aware of your entire state. And then when you're ready, you can use your hands to press you up and just come back to a nice comfortable seat on the mat, just like how we started class. So we'll close it out together. Bring your hands together at the heart, sitting up tall. Full breath in and a full breath out. And one last opportunity here to sit in stillness, to just be. Trying to remember that you do not need to be anywhere but right here. Right here is perfect. So let go of anything that might be calling for your attention. Anything that feels like it should be pulling you away from here. Just let it go. We'll find another full breath in. And exhale it out. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.